وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. Imagine this generation without WhatsApp. What will happen? Imagine these times, these days, this period without WhatsApp. How will we live? How would we live? Huh? Huh? How would we live? Mufti, see his fatwa. How would we live? Engineer, without WhatsApp, how would we live? We would live without it. Be more definite, engineer. It's like setting the question aside. How do we live? We live without it. We have set the question aside. Without WhatsApp in our time, how will we live? We live a calmer life. Calm. Life will be calmer. Just think about it. It will be less busy. If you ask now, everybody is busy. But the product of that being busy is not seen. Everybody is busy now. But what is the result of being busy? People are reading now, but the effect of reading is not seen. People are reading. When the man has his phone, he's reading. Someone says, no, there is a difference between reading and browsing. Is there no difference between reading and browsing? Is there a difference between reading and browsing? So even students only browse through textbooks. They don't read and study textbooks. They browse textbooks. And browsing is not reading. Is browsing reading? Or is reading browsing? I just want us to think about it. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. We come back to our book, Fiqh Al-Fitan, Alhamdulillah, by Shaykh Sulayman Ar-Ruhayli. In our last class, we were on Al-Aslu Sabi wa Ashar, the 17th foundational rule that we must pay attention to during the time of fitan. The Sheikh says the bulk of what we will do under this rule today is to read, because we had explained the bulk of it. Even there's a hadith with which he affirms that view, and then we move to Al-Aslu Affirming Rashi. The Sheikh has a way of bringing a verse, bringing a hadith, bringing statements of Salaf to affirm whatever position he was established. I think that's one lesson we should learn again. When we affirm any position regarding anything, look for an asar. Look for a hadith. Because what is correct is not your own statement. The view is not correct because you said it. The view is correct because it is relying upon some proof. And proof is revelation and asar. Quran, Sunnah, asar. That is proof. So if you just say something without bringing something, you say something without bringing something, it will be far-fetched. It will not have the effect that it should have in terms of standing and acceptance. It will not stand firm. Then those who know knowledge will not accept it. No asar, papa. So all this talk, no asar, no hadith. no ayah, no tafsir, no imam say something. Only you are the one saying it. That's not proper. So the Shaykh says, Rahimah Hafizahullah, Al-Aslu At-Tabi'u Ashar min Fiqh Al-Fitan لزوم الحلم والأناة والحذر من الطيش والعجلة. من فقه الفتن لزوم الحلم والأناة والحذر من الطيش والعجلة. العجلة يحمل عليها الشيطان حتى لا يكون العبد متمكنا من معرفة الصواب. ولذا هي من أمضى أصلحة الشيطان في الفتن. فإذا أعجل الشيطان الإنسان وكبه في الفتنة عز عليه الحدود وأخذ يتلمس بما هو عليه التأويلات البعيدة والكلمات المشتبهات من كلام العلماء حتى يؤيد ما هو عليه. والحلم يحبه الله والأناة من الرحمن فلا تأتي إلا بخير. الأناة لا تأتي إلا بخير. الحلم والأناة لا تأتي إلا بخير. الأناة لا تأتي إلا بخير. ولذا قال الله كلا بل تحبون العاجلة. قال الشوكاني رحمه الله كلا للردع عن العجلة والترغيب في الأناة. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم الأناة من الله والعجلة من الشيطان. رواه الترمذي. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم في أشج عبد القيس إن فيك خصلتين يحبهما الله الحلم والأناة. Ashaj Abdul Qais was a companion of the Prophet Muhammad. He had al-hilm. Al-hilm is to be sensible in everything you are doing. Whatever you are doing, be sensible. Be reasonable. This is al-hilm. Wal-anah is before you do something, you verify it, and you are not in a haste. Any person who has these two things is a great person. I know two persons, two young people, they have this, and I respect them for it. They have al-hilm and ana put together. Most times, if somebody has al-hilm, he will have al-ana. Al-hilm is to be reasonable in your affairs. Careful. Before you delve into it, you look at it very well. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to Ashaj Abdul Qais, Inna fika faslatayn yuhibbuhum Allah. You have two qualities, two traits. Yuhibbuhum Allah. Allah likes the two traits. The first one is what? Al-hilm. At-ta'akkul fil umur. Being sensible and reasonable in all affairs. In everything. Someone said that his wife said to him that even when you are sleeping, you are reasonable. The wife told the brother, even in your sleep, someone who looks at you will know that this person is reasonable. Even the way he sleeps. At sleep. How about in wakefulness? Being reasonable is very important. When you dress, you are reasonable. When you are talking, you are reasonable. When you keep quiet, when you write, al-hilm, being sensible in your affairs. And al-ana is not to be hasty. Look at that. So this companion combined these two things, and the Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, inna fika khaslatayn yuhibbuhum Allah. You have two traits, two behaviors, so to speak. Allah likes the two of them, al-hilm wal-ana. That hadith occurs in Sahih Muslim. The Shaykh says, wal-hilm at-ta'akkulu fil umur. The meaning of al-hilm is being reasonable, being thoughtful fil umur, in all affairs. Wal-ana, as-ana, what does it mean? At-tasabbutu wa tarkul ajala. At-tasabbut, you are always affirming what you want to do before you do it. Wa tarkul ajala, and you are not a hasty person. So when you have these two things, people who come to invite you to fitna, come out, please. Oh. Come on. Hey, Daddy, when undergraduate. You know this expression I just used. When you hear a Daddy, there's a riot going. Before he goes out, he may still go out. Because sometimes to stay in the hall itself is a trouble. But he was watching. He has al-hilm. It's reasonable. He has al-ana. He thinks well before he goes out. Some people will go out and the bullets will hit them. They were not reasonable when they were going out. Some people will go out hasty. So the Muslim must have al-hilm wal-ana. He must show it during the time of it. The Sheikh says, وَقَدْ تَكَلَّمَ ابْنُ الْقَيِّمِ عَنِ الْحِلْمِ وَالْأَنَا. Ibn al-Qayyim discussed al-hilm and al-ana, وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّهُمَا. He also mentioned that Allah likes these two traits. Most times, women don't employ al-hilm and al-ana when they deal with their husbands and co-wives. Most times, women don't employ al-hilm, being reasonable, and al-ana, not being in a haste, when they deal with their husbands or when they deal with their co-wives. Al-hilm is to be reasonable in what you are doing. Are women always like that when they deal with their co-wives? Being sensible, being thoughtful. Or when they are enraged regarding their husbands. Most men too lose it. Most men lose. They lose out. They lose al-hilm. Being reasonable when they relate with their wives. Be reasonable. Be reasonable when you relate with your wives. And you should have al-ana. Don't be in a haste to act. Be reasonable. Don't be in a haste to act. These two things are very important ingredients in marriage. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah discussed these two things and then said, rahimahullah, وَضِدُّهُمَا الطِّيشُ وَالْعَجَلَةُ. The opposite of al-hilm and al-ana is al-tish. Someone just acting purposelessly. Wal-ajala, and being in a haste. وَهُمَا خُلُقَانِ مَذْمُومَانِ. Being in a haste and being thoughtless. They are two characters, mazmuman. They are blameworthy. Mufsidani lil akhlaqi wal a'mal. These two negative traits, they destroy people's akhlaq. They are a thing on the character of an individual. Wal a'mal, and his deeds. He's in a haste because of haste. He will do so many things and then he begins to regret. So al-hilm and al-ana, they are very important. So the Sheikh went on to say, Shaykh Sulayman Ar-Ruhayli. He says, wal-ana takunu fil a'mal wa fil aqwal. Not being in a haste can come up regarding your actions. It can also come up regarding your statements. وفي استحسان أعمال الآخرين. It can also come up when you are praising the deeds of people. Somebody did something. You want to praise that thing. Think well. Does it worth a praise? Don't be in a haste. Don't let the first impression deceive you. Look well. If it deserves a praise, don't employ words that are over, that are more than what you are seeing. Al-ana will make you do that. Not being in a haste. And al-hilm, at-ta'akkul fil am, thinking well about the matter, will not make you hastily praise something or that praise something beyond its limits. It is al-hilmu and at-ta'akkul that will help the individual by Allah's will regarding these kinds of issues. Aw qabuli aqwali. Likewise, accepting a view. Someone just said something, you want to accept it. Have you thought well? Have you considered it well? Let me think about it first. Let me think about it first. And ikhwa, we are all different. Allah has created us different. Some people, their thought process in milliseconds. What you know about? They have finished all the thinking. Milliseconds. Some people, it will take them an hour to contemplate. Some people, it is days old. Some people, it is months old. You'll be asking him, have you thought about it very well? I'm still thinking about it. But for some people, within a split second, as you are saying it, they are x-raying it. Like electrocardiogram, reading the readings of the heart. Their mind is x-raying everything as you are saying it. So as you learn, they have an answer. It's a gift by Allah to people. Yes. Because Al-Hajjaj Abdul Qais is not mentioned here. He asked the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I hope that we remember this ziyada. He said, is that how I am? How Allah created me, or I have learned it? He said, that is how Allah has created you. In this hadith of Hajjaj Abdul Qais, he asked the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is that how I am intrinsically, or I learned it? How did I become Halim? How? He asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, for you, that is how Allah has created you. So if that is how Allah has created, it means we are all different regarding this matter. Okay, if you take 5 brothers who have al-hilm and al-ana, they will also grade in the level of their being thoughtful. Their thoughtfulness will also be in what? In grades. That's what we are saying. It's a big gift from Allah. And the fact that Hajjaj Abdul Qais asked the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, did I learn it? And the Prophet said alayhi salatu wasalam that no, this one, that is how you have been created. It means that you can learn al-hilm, you can also learn what? Al-an. You can learn it. One way to learn it is to read about it. Look for somebody you are sure has hilm and ana. Move with him. Allah will bless you with it. Al-hilm and al-ana, they are so important. They make you know which statements to accept, which statements to reject. So he says, وَالْأَنَا تَكُونُ فِي الْأَعْمَالِ وَفِي الْأَقْوَالِ وَفِي اسْتِحْسَانِ أَعْمَالِ الْآخَرِينَ أَوْ قَبُولِ أَقْوَالِهِمْ وَأَخْبَارِهِمْ. Likewise, when the man starts narrating stories to you, you see that man, he can turn to a snake. When he turns to snake, he can turn to, there was a video, a woman said she flew to Irajigi. At the junction of Irajigi, she was a bird. So in the morning, she turned to a human being. So the person who has al-hilm and al-ana, he will not just fall for the story. He will start looking for things to verify or falsify that story. May Allah protect all of us. These kinds of stories are many in Yoruba lands. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة وتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. Oh, you who believe, in جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبين. When a fasiq, an unrighteous person, comes to you with an information, فتبين, find out what is it telling you to do. You should have shame. Think well before you accept it. Verify it before you accept it. And in that process, you will not be in a haste. That's also encouragement towards al-anatu. Otherwise, to sibu and to sit, so that you do not come down to begin to home and be jahala. You afflict people. You offend the people out of ignorance. And at the end of it, when the issues become clear, you begin to regret. I wish I had not said so. Oh, I wish I did not behave like this. The reason you behave like that are two. You had at-tish, which is the opposite of al-hilm, and then al-ajala, which is the opposite of what? Al-ana. So we need al-hilm, being reasonable in our affairs. We also need what? Al-ana, being careful, holding back, and not being hasty. Don't be hasty. Don't be hasty. Don't be hasty. Don't be hasty at all. Don't be hasty. And in every affair, think well before you say or do something. What I want to do now, what is it? What are the things that will come upon it? Think well. They will say kolaro jile. If Yoruba say kolaro jile, is that a word of praise or? And ikhwa, the weight of an individual hangs upon these two things. Your personality hangs upon the two. Let the people know that they can just carry you along. Hey, that person, carry along. Let every person who wants to have anything to do with you know that. You can't just carry him along. Why? He has al-hilm. He will think well, deeply. He has al-ana. He won't hastily respond. Very important. The brother with 129 LND, a black car with plate number. Go and check your car. A black car, if you have a black car with a plate number 129 LND, Lagos Island. Go and check your car. So think well. The Sheikh says, وَالدَّاعِي لِلْأَنَا فِي الْخَبَرِ. What are those things that will make you don't be in a haste to accept information? قَدْ يَكُونُ فِي الْمُخْبِرِ. It may be the person telling you himself. The information may be true, but the person telling you, he has questionable character. So the reason why you will not be in a haste to accept the report may be because of the person telling you. This brother, this guy, because he is known to be a hasty person. So you say, oh, is this not part of that his hastiness? So today, so be careful, don't quickly accept. Or he is presenting something to you in a manner that it is not. So he himself is the reason you are not accepting his information. And he may not know that you telling me you are the reason I am not quickly accepting. All these processes are just going on inside your mind. He doesn't know. You are looking at him as he's talking. They went to one demonstration. They now do this. They now fire. Police now came. Police now carried him. Police now go. You are just looking. He doesn't know that you are looking at he himself. It's always a breaking news. Oh, said listen. Or he is known not to be a straightforward person. I have people like that I know. Anytime they are talking, they are Yoruba. their speech. You know Yorubas are hardly straightforward. Wallah, Yoruba, that is their basic way of life. They say, when they take it, you don't speak with all of your mouth. What they mean in that is that you don't say the truth. You don't go straight forward. You'll be bending it, moving it left, right. So that if they catch him on the left, what will he do? If they catch him on the left, he won't be straight. And this is wrong. Allah says, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu taqullaha wa qulu qawlan sadida. Fear Allah. When you speak, be straight, be clean, be neat, be brief, be concise. They can give you one answer that can be interpreted into 15 minutes. May Allah protect. So this is tadlis. If you know a person to be like that, be careful to accept his information. Our fisking, or we know him as a fasik. Fisk. May Allah protect. That's why you should be careful. If you are not a person of fisk, you are not a person of tadlis, and you are not a person of al-ajala, don't be informant, giving information. So thing has happened. So thing has happened. Because if that information is a lie, who will they say said that lie? You might not have thought that you want to lie. But wallahi, lies will be passing on your tongue. If lie is passing on your tongue, what is it that you are doing? You see now. So indirectly, lies will be ascribed to you. Be careful, Akhi, when you convey information from one person to the other. Be careful. May Allah protect all of us. So the person giving you the information may be the reason to reject the information or to be careful extra about the information. وَقَدْ يَكُونُ فِي الْخَبَرِ. It could be the information itself. The information itself may be the reason to hold back from accepting it. Why? لِكَوْنِهِ غَرِيبًا. Because it is strange. غريب. أو مخالفا للمعلوم. Or that it contradicts what is widely known. Like somebody telling us that the president of Nigeria was cloned. For me, it is from all angles. The person saying it, who is he? Then this information is strange. You know how much it will take the scientists of the world to clone a human being? And for how long it will take them to clone a human being? So if you tell me that Muhammadu Buhari was cloned, okay, why was it? You see the information too. Was he cloned or he was another Jibril from Sudan? Which one is correct? Because it is one person that is saying the two. One person is saying that he is Jibril from Sudan. That same person is saying that he was cloned. So you see that you need al-hilm. You need to be reasonable in what you accept. So if you come to me and say, I will add you to him. Wallahi, that's how I am. There are some information you bring to me. When you tell me, I say, oh, you and the person who said it, they are the same. So you could tell what yes. So if you give me that kind of an information, I say, oh, the two of you are the same. Even if I don't tell you with my mouth, you should know that that's what I'm thinking. Buhari was cloned. Buhari is Jibril from Sudan. If you say, it can be true, I will just shake my head. Not that I accept the information, but because I think that you and the person who said it, you are similar if you are not the same. So if the information is mukhalifan lil ma'lum, if it contradicts a widely known truth, you will know that the information is exaggerated and wrong, or things like that. But what will make you be able to determine that are two things. What and what? Al-hilmu wal-ana. Al-hilmu wal-ana. The Sheikh says, وَمَنْ لَزِمَ الْأَنَا لَزِمَ الْمَشْرُوعِ. If you are a person who will not ever be in a haste, لَزِمَ الْمَشْرُوعِ. Most likely, most of the things you will be doing will be upon lawfulness in Sharia. وَأَمِنَ الْوُقُوعِ. And you'll be safe from falling into things that you should not fall into. You always be upon things that are lawful. You would have duly considered them well before you act or before you accept. So that will make you not fall into things that you should not fall into. That's why people who have al-ajala, look at them. I know one or two brothers with this. That's their way of life. Wallahi, every day they are falling to one problem or the other. So this person has al-ajala. And he does not know that that is his problem. Every day he's in one trouble or the other. Because he's always in a haste. In a haste to talk, in a haste to act, in a haste to... Why not just hold back a little bit and employ your head? And he's a very intelligent person, but he does not use the intelligence. May Allah protect all of us and rectify all of us. The Shaykh says, وَالْحِلْمُ فِي الْفِتَنِ سَبَبٌ لِحِفْظِ الْأُمَمِ. Al-hilm, thinking deeply, being thoughtful during the times of fitna, sababun lihifzil umma, is a means of protecting a large number of people, large congregations and communities. When you hold back, you verify, you are not in a haste, you save a lot of lives. But when you are in a haste, imagine somebody in a haste in a battlefield. His army will go. His army will go. وقد قال المستورد القرشي عند عمرو بن العاص. مستورد القرشي رضي الله عنه. His name is مستورد ibn Shaddad. مستورد ibn Shaddad al-Qurashi رضي الله عنه was speaking in front of the eminent companion Amr ibn al-As. Do we know Amr ibn al-As? Amr ibn al-As was a beloved companion of the Prophet Muhammad. Should I say one hadith about Amr? The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, Aslam an-nas wa amana ibna As. The people accepted Islam, but as for the two children of As, Amr and his brother, it is Iman that they accepted. Their own is not Islam. They didn't accept Islam. They gone above that. Aslam an-nas. Islam làwọn yòókù gbà. Káwọn ilé ìgbàgbọ́ ìmánì gangan ni wọ́n gbà. Aslam an-nas wa amana ibna al-As. The two children of As. Their own is Iman. The story of how Amr ibn al-As accepted Islam too is big. And from that story we learned a lot of other things in our religion. Let's come back to where we are. Mustawrad ibn Shaddad al-Qurashi radiyallahu anhu, he said in front of Amr ibn al-As that Sami'tu Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam yaqul. I heard the Messenger of Allah saying that تقوم الساعة والروم أكثر الناس. تقوم الساعة والروم أكثر الناس. When the last hour will be established, Rome, the Romans, will be the large majority of the people of Rome. At the time this will be referring to people from far Byzantine, from far Persian empires. Rome. At the time of this statement, that was Rome, not the Rome of Italy. the whites, these people, will be the large majority of people. When the last hour becomes established, تَسْتَقُومُ السَّاعَةُ وَهُمْ أَكْثَرُ النَّاسِ. Mustawrad said so in front of Amr ibn al-As. فَقَالَ لَهُ Amr. So Amr ibn al-As said to him, أَبْصِرْ مَا تَقُولُ. Think well what you say. Think well what you say. Consider what you say very well. As if to say, be sure about what you are narrating. قال أقول ما سمعت من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Mustawrad ibn Shaddad said, I am saying what I have heard from the messenger of Allah. So قال Amr ibn al-As then said, لَإِن قُلْتَ ذَلِكَ. If you are saying that, if you have actually heard it, and you are saying it. You know, Amr ibn al-As was a very exposed companion of the Prophet. Amr ibn al-As. Amr ibn al-As was Bajuma amongst the companions. He was an eminent, noble, popular, renowned. He was rich of the Amr ibn al-As was very rich. And he was well educated. He could read and write. And that was why very shortly, less than a week, 2, after he accepted Islam, the Prophet ﷺ made him lead an army. He raised an army for a battle. And the leader of that army was Amr. Less than 2 weeks he came into Islam. And he said to him, ﷺ, when you fight that battle, take everything you get as spoils of war. It belongs to you. He said to the Prophet ﷺ, مَا دَخَلْتُ الْإِسْلَامَ لِهَذَا. I didn't enter Islam because I want money. Olowoni radiyallahu anhu. Amr ibn al-As was very rich. I didn't enter Islam because I want money, spoils of war, no. So what did the Prophet say to him? Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. نِعْمَ الْمَالُ الصَّالِحِ لِرَجُلٍ صَالِحٍ. نِعْمَ الْمَالُ الصَّالِحُ لِرَجُلٍ صَالِحٍ. Umadao, how good is righteous money for a righteous man? Righteous money is good for a righteous man. نِعْمَ الْمَالُ الصَّالِحِ لِرَجُلٍ صَالِحٍ. Righteous money, wealth well gotten, is nice for a righteous man. Because the righteous man who has righteous money will not do with his money except what? Righteous. نِعْمَ الْمَالُ الصَّالِحِ لِرَجُلٍ صَالِحٍ. Nice money is good for a nice person. Halal wealth is good for a nice person. So I like to make us understand, Ikhwa, don't think that Islam encourages that people should be poor. The Prophet didn't tell him, Kumarisa, and the Messenger ﷺ did not say to Amr ibn al-As, run for this dunya. Even in the Quran, when he mentioned that, he said, وَابْتَغِ فِيمَا أَتَاكَ اللَّهُ دَارَ الْآخِرَةِ وَابْتَغِ فِيمَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ دَارَ الْآخِرَةِ. From what Allah has given you from this dunya, seek akhirah with it. Who was not a rich person amongst the first 10 companions who got Al-Jannah? Was Abu Bakr a poor person? Was Umar a poor person? Was Usman poor? Was Ali poor? Was Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas poor? All the 10, go and look at them, they were not peasants. Don't think that the poorer you are, the better you are as a Muslim. The messenger used to make isti'adha from al-faqr. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-kufri. So why should you think that faqr is synonymous to iman? They are. Faqr is not synonymous to iman. Poverty is not synonymous to iman. So don't think that if a person is poor, la. So this virtue of money or possessions that Allah gives you, seek hereafter with it. So Amr ibn al-As was an exposed companion of the Prophet Muhammad, alayhi salatu wasalam. So when he heard from Mustawrad al-Qurashi, Ibn Shaddad al-Qurashi, radiyallahu anhu, that the Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that taqumu as-sa'atu war-rumu aktharu an-nas, he asked, confirm what you are narrating. Say, yes, I confirm. I heard it from the messenger, alayhi salatu wasalam. Hear what Amr ibn al-As said. He said, La in kulta dhalika inna, la in kulta dhalik, if you say what you say and you affirm it, inna fihim la khisalan arba'an. These people, they have 4 traits. Away go. They have 4 traits. The first one, innahum la ahlamun nas inda al-fitna. Innahum la ahlamun nas inda fitnati. These people, they are from those who look things very well before they get involved in the times of fitna. You can't just bring a woman easily into something. You will have key questions. They will ask you questions. So when there is trial, trouble, tribulation, they will not just fall into it. They will be finding out before they know what to do. وَأَسْرَعُهُمْ إِفَاقَةً بَعْدَ مُصِيبَةٍ. The second thing they have, هُمْ مِنْ أَسْرَعِ النَّاسِ إِفَاقَةً بَعْدَ مُصِيبَةٍ. They are from amongst the fastest people to rise again after a fall. When they are afflicted with a trial, they quickly adjust and start to live life again. That they have that character. It means it's a virtue. So be a person who, when he has an affliction, it struggles to restart life quickly. That is the second trait that they have. He says, radiyallahu anhu, وَأَوْشَكُهُمْ كَرَّةً بَعْدَ فَرَّةٍ. أَوْشَكُهُمْ كَرَّةً بَعْدَ فَرَّةٍ. It says, أَسْرَعُهُمْ إِفَاقَةً بَعْدَ مُصِيبَةٍ. They quickly stand up again after they are afflicted. وَأَوْشَكُهُمْ كَرَّةً بَعْدَ فَرَّةٍ. They easily come back to war after they have run away. Do you understand? If you fight them, they run away. It will not take long before they regroup and come back to you. It is from the aspects of al-ifaq ba'da musibah. They rise again after an affliction. People have afflictions, they must rise again. It means to be able to rise again quickly after you have been afflicted is a virtue. Some people, they will sleep waiting for the affliction. Don't be like that. If you have a setback regarding something, stand up again. Look at it again. Rise again. If you failed an exam, struggle again. Do it again. They quickly do that. وَخَيْرُهُمْ لِمِسْكِينٍ وَيَتِيمٍ وَضَعِيفٍ هُمْ مِنْ خَيْرِ النَّاسِ. They are from amongst the best of the people. خَيْرُ النَّاسِ. They are from the best of people. لِمِسْكِينٍ. In terms of dealing with people who are poor. وَيَتِيمٍ. And orphans. وَضَعِيفٍ. And people who are weak and sick. Women. They are usually good to women. This is their absolute. If they have changed now, they have gone out of their basic rulings. Otherwise, essentially, at the time Amr ibn al-As was saying this, that's how these people are. And I tell you, even these people at this time, if you look at them very well, they still have traits of these things left with them. Then Amr ibn al-As remembered a fifth thing. He had said 4. It's like you say, I want to tell you 3 things. At the end of the third one, you remember a 4th one. So that was why he said, Mr. Tun, the 5th thing about them is that Hasanatun Jamilatun wa amna'uhum min zulmi al-muluk. They are a group of people who are nice, essentially, but amna'uhum la khamisatun hasanatun jamilatun. The 5th nice, beautiful thing they have. The 5th khamisatun hasanatun jamilatun. The 5th nice, beautiful thing they have is that amna'uhum min zulmil muluk. They are the ones who easily ward off. They protect the people from the oppression of rulers. They easily protect their people from the oppression of rulers. And they protect the rulers from oppressing the people. The ulama say the 2 meanings are correct. Amna'uhum li zulmil muluk. لأنهم يمنعون الملوك أو لأنهم يمنعون الناس. So if they either protect the people or they fence the muluk, they fence the kings from oppressing the people, or that they protect the people against the oppression of the kings. They ward off oppression. They do this a lot. This hadith is a hadith reported by Imam Muslim. What is the point of reference in this hadith? The first thing about them, when it said that innahum la ahlamun nas inda fitnatin. They are the people who ahlamun nas. They are most thoughtful about fitna before they get into it. They will be thinking before they get it. They have other traits. They prevent people from oppressing others. They help people. They support women and orphans and the weak in the society. They do this a lot. Till today they do it. Till today they do it. That's why some Muslims are so crazy about them. Unfortunately, they don't have imam. So what's the value? So let a Muslim who will benefit from any of these things in the Muslim land benefit from it. May Allah protect all of us. وقال Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, رضي الله عنه, إنها ستكون عنات وأمور مشبهات. There shall be heavy, serious matter. وأمور مشبهات. And confusing situation. فَعَلَيْكَ بِالتُّؤْدَةِ. Be careful. Take to at-tu'da, thinking about issues well before you delve into it. If the Mas'ud was telling the people, hey, there shall be fitna, big matters will be happening, but be careful. عَلَيْكُمْ بِمَاذَا بِالتُّؤْدَةِ. Be careful. Make sure that you think well and you are not hasty at all before you get into the issues. فَتَكُونُ تَابِعًا فِي الْخَيْرِ. Don't be hasty. Be a tabi, be a follower in terms of goodness. خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَن تَكُونَ رَأْسًا فِي الشَّرِّ. It's better for you than being a head upon evil. So be a follower upon goodness. Why is it that you're a follower upon goodness? You want to look at it very well before you follow. It was when you are sure that it is goodness that you now followed. It's better for you than that you want to be head. You want to be the pioneer, and it didn't make you to look at it very well. You end up being a pioneer upon evil. So it is better for you to be a follower upon goodness than that you are a pioneer upon evil. Rawahu Ibn Abi Shayba. The Imam Ibn Abi Shayba reported that in his book, Al-Musannaf. What is this point exactly telling us about? It is telling us about the importance of Al-hilmu wal-ana. Al-hilmu is at-ta'akkulu fil umur. Thinking well, being reasonable in affairs. Wal-ana. Al-ana is not being hasty at all. Looking at it very well before you leave. May Allah make it easy for us. We should proceed. Go. Al-Aslu Saminu Asha. The 18th basic rule that we must consider in the times of fitna. 18. We are going to 26. Number 18. He said, "Min Fiqh Al-Fitan, Adamu At-Tibyān al-Awātif fiha, wa taqyīd al-Awātif bil-aqli, wa taqyīd al-aqli bil-shar'i." From the things we must understand and note in the times of fitna is Adamu At-Tibyān al-Awātif fiha. Don't follow emotions during fitna. Don't follow emotion. Chief, is it now good that they have done this? Is it good? Is that good? Is that good? You see now, this is our Islam. Islam does not support this. She's talking in Jalbab. Oh. Keep quiet. Don't follow emotion. She's just raising emotion. So some Muslims will now go. A Muslim woman declaring freedom. It's about emotion. We in Nigeria, we are going to stop this. We are going to accept this. We are not going to accept. We are going to stop police. We are going to stop army. We are going to stop navy. If you think well, you know that you are lying. How can you stop army and police? How can you stop? You who? Min Fiqh Al-Fitan Adamu At-Tibyān al-Awātif fiha. From the things the Muslim must understand regarding fitan is that during fitna, la tattabi al-awat. Don't follow emotions. Hey, they have burnt down 10,000 houses in Waterside. It can be a lie. Don't follow. Yeah, subhanallah, Allahu Akbar. Yeah. Don't follow emotions. وَتَكْيِيدُ الْأَوَاطِفِ بِالْعَقْلِ. Control your emotions with your intelligence. Let your thinking, let your intellect control your emotions. وَتَكْيِيدُ الْعَقْلِ بِالشَّرْعِ. Let the Sharia control your intellect. How many levels of control are those? Don't follow emotions. Control your emotions with your intellect. Control your intellect with what? With Sharia. If you look at all these points that we have read, you find one thing reoccurring. What's that? You must be reasonable at all times. You must be reasonable at all times. Even when you are driving, be reasonable. The Sheikh says, Hafizahullah, Al-Awatifu fi zaman al-fitani awatif. I like this ibara. Al-Awatifu fi zaman al-fitani awatif. Following emotions during the times of fitna is awatif. They are violent window. Violent wind. You know, it pushes, so it's like wind, blowing strongly. That is how following emotion. That is how it is during the time of fitna. It's a violent blowing wind, emotion. And you know that's how it blows the people. It just carries them and lands them somewhere. Emotion. A person can follow emotion and divorce his wife. When he's now calm, he will now phone you. Assalamu alaikum. When I proposed the talaq, I said, from today, nothing will concern the two of us again. Is it a statement of talaq? You're asking me. So don't be controlled by your emotion. The Sheikh says, Al-awasifu fi zaman al-fitani awasif. Following emotion, or the emotion, rage, anger, and all of these during the times of fitan, it is a violent blowing window. وَكَثِيرٌ مِمَّنْ يَتَسَاقَطُونَ فِي الْفِتَنِ إِنَّمَا سَقَطُوا بِالْعَوَاطِفِ. Most of those who will plunge and fall into fitan during the time of fitna, إِنَّمَا سَقَطُوا بِالْعَوَاطِفِ. They have only fallen, they only fell into that fitna because of what? Emotion. Emotion. وَالْمُوَفَّقُ مَنْ قَيَّدَ عَاطِفَهُ بِالْعَقْلِ ابْتِدَاءً. The one that Allah has granted success and guidance is that person, man قَيَّدَ عَاطِفَتَهُ بِالْعَقْلِ ابْتِدَاءً. The one who is able to control his emotions from the very beginning. وَقَيَّدَ عَقْلَهُ بِالشَّرْعِ. And he is controlling his intellect with the Sharia. He is controlling his emotions with the intellect. And he is controlling the intellect with the Sharia. إِذِ الْإِنسَانُ لَا بُدَّ أَن تَكُونَ لَهُ عَاطِفَةٌ. Because as human beings, we must have emotions. Don't we have emotions? I have, you have. وَلَا يُطْلَبُ مِنَ الْإِنسَانِ أَن يَتَخَلَّصَ مِنْ عَاطِفَتِهِ. It is not possible to request that or to ask a person to be disconnected from his emotions. It's not possible. Your emotions are there. وَلَكِنْ يُطْلَبُ مِنْهُ أَن يُحَذِّبَهَا وَيُكْمِلَهَا. But he can be asked to control, to arrange, to control. وَيُكْمِلَهَا. He can be told to ما كمال العاطفة كيف يكمل العاطفة كيف يكمل العاطفة كيف يكمل الإنسان عاطفته إكمال. فإذا عرض له شيء بعاطفته. So when anything comes to him regarding his emotion, he is an individual, he's a human being. He has emotions. We can't say become disconnected from your emotions. No, you can only tell him control it. I always tell people when they say somebody gets angry, say yes, let him get angry. It's normal to get angry. What matters is how you control your anger. It's like saying, this person gets hungry. Is it his fault that he gets hungry? Oh, this person becomes thirsty. Oh, this person sleeps. He feels sleepy. Sleep that people are buying today, looking for means of being able to sleep. So these are natural instincts. Likewise, our emotions. So we cannot say that he should become disconnected from his emotions. Like in Yuslabu and Yuhaziba. Well, he can be requested to control it. So be careful regarding his emotions. So the Sheikh says, Hafizahullah, how will he do that? فَإِذَا أَرَضَ لَهُ شَيْءٌ بِعَاطِفَتِهِ أَرَضَهُ أَوْ أَرَضَهُ عَلَىٰ أَكْلِهِ. When anything happens to his emotions, he will bring it to the court of his intellect. There's an emotional matter now. He will not just act or talk or do something. Say, hey, let me bring it to the senses. وَلَا يَنْسَاكُ وَرَاءَ الْعَاطِفَةِ. He will not come down following his emotions. فِيمَا تَرِدُهُ الْعُقُولُ. Regarding the issues that the intellect should investigate. He won't follow it. Likewise, when his mind tells him, فِيمَا تَرُدُّهُ الْعُقُولُ, When the intellect rejects, don't do this. La yansaku wara'a atifati. He will not follow his emotion. When his mind has told him. Let me give us one simple example a brother told me about recently. He said when a woman comes to you, she locks your cloth. Hey, you must divorce me today. Don't divorce her that time. Ikhwa, engineer, when a woman comes, Abu, today, you must divorce me. She starts holding him. Don't divorce her that time. She's working on emotion. She wants to carry you on that emotion too. If you divorce her that time, she will not say, but I didn't think where I was doing, and I just wanted to harass you, and I just. A brother said that to me recently. But I thought about it, and I thought that it was reasonable. So, فَإِذَا أَرَضَ لَهُ شَيْءٌ بِعَاطِفَتِهِ أَرَضَهُ أَوْ أَرَضَهُ عَلَى أَصْلِهِ. If something happens to an individual regarding emotion, his emotion became soared. He presents that emotional soar to his intellect. وَلَا يَنْسَاقُ وَرَاءَ الْعَاطِفَةِ بَأْتِي مَا تَرُدُّهُ الْعُقُولُ. When the intellect now rejects that, لَا يَنْسَاقُ وَرَاءَ عَاطِفَتِهِ, it does not follow, come behind, now come lowly, behind his intellect, behind his emotion. When his intellect has proven that that dictation of the emotion is not correct. وَكَثِيرٌ مِّمَّنْ تَسَاقَطُوا فِي الْفِتَنِ. Many of those who will plunge themselves or fall into fitan, لَوْ أَرَضُوا أَمْرَهُمْ عَلَىٰ أُقُولِهِمْ لَسَلِمُوا. If they had thought very well about that their emotional outburst, لَسَلِمُوا, they would have been protected. They would have been saved from whatever troubles following their emotions will bring them into. May Allah protect us. The Sheikh says, وَهَذَا, presenting affairs to the intellect, preventing emotional affairs to your intellect before you act. يَشْتَرِكُ فِيهِ الْأُقَلَةِ. Every person that is reasonable, whether Muslim, whether Kafir, everybody can do that one. You can, it's possible. Muslim, Kafir, hypocrite. He can want to do something and he will think, what I want to do. Using the intellect to control the emotion. Everybody can do that. Like al-mu'minu yazidu al-uqala. A person of Iman, he has more things than just controlling his emotion using his intellect. What is that thing that he has? The amrin azimin sharif. What he has is great, is nice, is noble, is eminent. What is that thing? فَالْمُؤْمِنُ يَعْرِضُ أُمُورَهُ كُلَّهَا عَلَى الشَّرْعِ. As for the mu'min, he will still bring the entirety of his affairs ala shari, otuku sharia. If it is reasonable, is it lawful? So the Muslim is not just following his emotion. He wants to follow something that is what? Reasonable. Now, something can be reasonable, but what? Unlawful. So apart from being reasonable, everybody can be reasonable. Muslim can be reasonable. Christian can be reasonable. Idol worshipper can be reasonable. Hypocrite can be reasonable. Anybody, those who don't believe in Allah, they can be reasonable sometimes. Add sometimes to their own. They are largely unreasonable. Largely unreasonable. May Allah protect all of us. Who can be more unreasonable to think that this my phone just came like that? Nobody made it. This phone, it just came like that. Bam. This place, it is just here. Nobody brought it there. This microphone, nobody made it. It just came by itself. Somebody believes like that. Who is more reasonable than that person? More unreasonable than that. Atheists are so unreasonable. Mushrikun are better than them. Because Mushrik understands that he has to worship. There is something to worship, but he is directing the worship to a wrong place. This is the problem of the mushrik. But as for Ate, oh dear, look, I can't. May Allah protect us. So the extra thing that the person of Iman has apart from his intellect is that he has what? Sharia. So Basunam. It's reasonable, but is it in the Sunnah? Is it lawful? ويكون وقافا عنده مع علمه أن كل ما خالف الشرع فلا خير فيه. So as he brings that thing to know whether it is lawful or not, he has something in his mind. What is it that he has in his mind? أن كل ما خالف الشرع فلا خير فيه. Whatever contradicts the Sharia, it is not good though. Even though it may be reasonable. It may appear reasonable. Once it contradicts the Sharia, it is not reasonable. It is only appearing reasonable. وَإِنْ حَسَّنَهُ الْعَقْلُ. Even if the intellect shows that that thing is good. فَذَلِكَ لِخَلَلٍ فِي الْعَقْلِ. The reason why the person thought that the intellect has approved it is that his intellect got any problem. Otherwise, if he had thought very well, he would have known that it is unreasonable. Because the Sharia is reasonable. Whatever is lawful is reasonable. Whatever is unlawful is unreasonable. If you think it well, you will see the unreasonability under it. What is reasonable about dinner? It's not reasonable. You are just wasting your energy. You are destroying people's lineage. You are becoming irresponsible. So what's reasonable about that? فَاللَّهُ لَهُ الْخَلْقُ وَالْأَمْرُ. The entirety of creation belongs to Allah. And the right to give laws belongs to Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا يُعَارِضُ مَا خَلَقَهُ اللَّهُ مَا شَرَعَهُ Allah. And what Allah has legislated will not contradict what He has created. He is the creator of intellect. So He will not give a legislation that contradicts intellect. So if you think about something and it appears reasonable, you check it in the Sharia, it is unlawful. It means that your thinking it and approving it to be reasonable is not well thought out. Why is this clear to us? If you had thought properly about it, it would have been clear to you that what you want to do is what? Unreasonable. If it is unlawful. Imagine people who want to commit suicide. It is because they didn't think very well. If you think that once you commit suicide, you'll be saved. Has the person been saved when he commits suicide? It's not reasonable. It's not reasonable. May Allah protect all of us. And the proof that what Allah has created in His creation conforms with what He has approved as law in His creation is that Allah says, أَلَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ خَلَقَ وَهُوَ اللَّطِيفُ الْخَبِيرُ. The one who has created, does he not know what he has created? He knows what he has created. So he has given him laws that conform to that creation of his. فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا لَا تَبْدِيلَ لِخَلْقِ اللَّهِ ذَلِكَ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Allah created all things. And the things that He has legislated are in conformance with those things that He has created. I hope it is clear. What He created and what He legislated conform. There is no discordance between the two. I hope that it is clear. We can stop here today because of that. Bismillah will complete this point in the next class and attempt to complete the 19th point. We are near it. Bismillah. May Allah protect us from fitan. That which is clear in it. Sometimes fitan will be clear, and sometimes the fitna will not be clear. May Allah protect all of us. If we have 1, 2, 3 questions we can ask them. Bismillah. Now, Ahmad, you want to ask a question? Abdullah, you are Abdullah. Abdullah, you want to ask a question? Ahmad, you want to ask a question? Sorry. Engineer. Naam. Naam. Alaykum salam. Amin one. Oh, make it part of our dance. Don't take us out of our dance. Alaykum salam. Amin wa iyab. Fadal. حول حديث من؟ شداد. هو مستورد ابن الشداد. مستورد ابن الشداد القرشي. نعم. تقوم الساعة والروم أكثر الناس. لا هو من فقهه رحمه الله ومن معرفته. هو من فقهه ومن معرفة الصحابي الجليل عمرو بن العاص رضي الله عنه. فهمت؟ He is asking what Amr ibn al-As was saying. Did he pick it from that hadith? Say no. He is saying it from his knowledge of the world, from his experience. That these people are like this. They are like this. They are like this. It's not taken from that hadith. Now, alaykum salam. Alaykum salam. I didn't remember, that's why I didn't mention it. What's the name of the brother of Amr ibn al-As? You should know that I would have mentioned it if I remember the name. I didn't remember the name. That's why I didn't mention it. His brother. He was like Amr ibn al-As. They were so exposed to life. It's a virtue to be exposed to life, to know dunya, to be exposed, to have traveled, to have gained experience, to have mixed with people. Amr ibn al-As had it, radiyallahu anhu. That's why his son too was like that, Abdullah. They were very exposed people. There were some companions of the messenger like that, alayhi salatu wassalam. Wa ala ra'suhum. And the head of those who were like that was the head of the companions. Who was the head of the companions? Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, radiyallahu anhu. He was a very exposed person. Likewise, Uthman ibn Affan, and Umar radiyallahu anhu, and Abdur-Rahman ibn Auf, Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. Very exposed. Very, very exposed. Radiyallahu anhu. Abbas. People who were exposed, they traveled, they've gone to places, they've met people. Abu Sufyan. They've met people in the great civilizations of the world. It's very, very good to be exposed. That's why ulama, from the stages of learning, is to travel around. If you learn from the scholars in your city, then you travel around. You go outside the city, you go outside your regions, you see the world. You will not be a local champion. Go out. Go out. Very, very important. You mix with people, you learn people's language. You know how people live. You marry people's daughter. Some people went and learned someplace. They married there too. They learn culture. They mix with people. People mix with them. They are exposed. Very, very good. Very good. That was the kind of personality that Amr ibn al-As had. He was a well-traveled person. Mughira ibn Shu'bah is a well-exposed companion. Very exposed. Radiallahu anhu. Now, I think it will be convenient for us to stop here today. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. These phones will live here by themselves, according to atheists. These phones, they will leave this place by themselves, according to atheists. Nobody will carry them, according to atheists. These phones will leave this place. This book will live here by itself. This microphone I'm holding now, it will go off my hand by itself, according to atheists. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.